Alright, welcome back to another episode of The Works here with Braden Schwab. Fashion is art. Now, what we're going to be going over today is where you can find the best materials for your DIY projects, or where you can find the cheapest materials, or where you can find the most convenient materials, however you want to put it. But we're going to get right into it. And again, we're getting really close to 1,000 subscribers here. Really excited for that. So if you haven't already, if you're checking out this video, go ahead and subscribe below. Like the video as well. It makes a really big difference for the channel. And we'll get right into it. Let's go. So as we go over this episode today, talking about where you can find the best materials for your DIY projects, I'm going to share with you my latest DIY project, where we covered in the last video. Oh, shoot. The hoverboard. So as you can see, completely DIY. I'm going to share with you today how the hoverboard came to be and where I get a lot of my materials from. Start off with the board. It is originally a Tony Hawk ride board. So one of those ones that you use on the PlayStation where you get on it has the buttons on the side, which is why you can see here, it's got all these PlayStation ones on the side there. Saw it at a Goodwill one day. That's where I first broached the idea that I had to do this. Went and bought it for, I think, 20 bucks. This is actually broken, so whether I painted it or not, I could not use it for Tony Hawk Ride. So regardless, I went ahead, bought it for about 10, 15 bucks or whatever. Got it back home, and then I knew I needed to get some acrylic paint to match it. So to do that, I went over to Walmart, and I just got a lot of them, mainly also Hobby Lobby is a great place to go to for paint, because I was able to get a really big bottle of the hot pink. And as you can see, the majority of this whole thing is in hot pink. Some of the other colors I got from Walmart as well, just your basic acrylics, some of the stuff that you always need, but you always want to get something as well that you can go that's a little bit more exotic, a little bit more random, that you can use too. And as you can see, I did separate a lot of the sections off on this board. And the way I did that was with a Sharpie. Now, I feel that I may have gone a little bit too rough, like I could have gone a little bit finer, like maybe a pen or something like that, but I really wanted to make sure that I had each of these lines separated and crossed off so I knew where to go with it. Didn't want to use masking tape. You could have used masking tape for this. That's not a problem. I'm just not a fan of masking tape. I'd rather see what happens with a Sharpie than use masking tape. Here's one of the collections of Sharpies that I do have. This is just like a little random pack. At this point, I have probably 30, maybe 40 Sharpies. And I just keep them all miscellaneous, so that's why this container is kind of random. These aren't the original Sharpies that are in here, but Sharpies are very clutch in outlining and detailing, setting up whatever you're working on doing. That's what I would use for any DIY project, paint-wise, working on it. That is a wood, a type of metal, a plastic, that sort of thing. Now, when we're going towards fabrics, that's a completely different thing. And for that, fabric markers. Fabric markers or fabric paint. And I have both with me here today. Picked up, gosh, where did I get these from? Walmart. Pretty sure it was Walmart. So when I got the fabric markers, they're really easy to edit up on clothing, with your shirts and everything. I do sometimes use these though, mainly for the shoes that I make, the shoes that I design. So starting with the fabric marker to get it really fine, when you're going in a certain detail, when you're adding a logo or anything like that on there. And then when you're just blowing through the project, you run them through with the paint. Now, if your strength is a little bit more steady-handed with the brush, then by all means, get a super skinny brush, which I have a lot of those, and just go about it that way. That's not a problem either. It's worked just as well. Another great option though is Angelus. So this is the red bottom coat for Angelus shoes that I used to edit my first edition of my Lost Sun shoe and got that red bottom. If you follow my Instagram, you've seen that on my highlights, and I posted it a couple times, but that's the premise behind that shoe, this paint here. And if you're going for Angelus, it is by far the best paint to use when you're working on shoes. They have a really wide selection of different colors that you can use for your shoes. They also have a lot of different products that work well for restoration of shoes. I'm actually working on restoring some Easy Calabasas right now that have just an uneven color. So I'm working on that, and you'll learn a little bit more about that as that process goes on and on. But back to this, another really important product, Mod Podge. How are you going to seal the paint into your shirt that you just made, the shoes that you just, painted? You gotta do it with this. Mod Podge is really clutch sealer and has done me so well so many times. So I would recommend that highly so that your paint actually stands up so you can actually wear these shoes outside. Yeah. Another really important thing, this is just for shoe maintenance. I got this from the Van store. That's a little shoe travel kit, and it's really clutch. It's got a nice little brush that does its job, cleans off all the dirt that I need to get off of my shoe. And when I do the restoration video for the Yeezy that I have, you're gonna see me using this in action. Also gives me a very nice, foaming cleaner that I'll use to apply onto the shoe as I'm brushing with it. Refresher, this is mostly just for the look, to keep it clean, keep it fresh as you're walking outside, to keep that sealing on it. And then this one is nice as well, the stain shield, to keep a lot of the dirt from, coming on. The refresher is more so for is to keep it fresh, to keep the smell nice, because there's always a certain odor you get with shoes. And if you're buying them secondhand, which I buy a lot of my stuff secondhand, through the Depops and the Goodwills. I'm a thrifty person, and that's what I do. So you're gonna wanna have something to refresh it, to keep it clean, keep it fresh. Now, where can you get this stuff? The answer is anywhere. I mentioned, Walmart for the fabric markers and the paint. I mentioned Hobby Lobby as another great option for paint, and Angelus. Those are all great options with different price levels. If you're wanting to lean towards the cheaper side and just get something started, go to Walmart. If you have a Hobby Lobby near you, go to the Hobby Lobby over the Walmart every time. Less people that you gotta deal with in the lines, and comparable prices as far as the paints go. I mean, it's not too much more than what Walmart would be, but if you have one in your area, I recommend Hobby Lobby over Walmart every time. And finally, Angelus, much more. You're not gonna find the physical store, you're ordering it online, but it is the best quality. All the videos you see with the YouTubers who are restoring, who are creating other DIY projects such as myself with shoes, anyone doing custom shoes, the top of the line people are using Angelus. So it's like the Adobe Premiere of custom projects. It's the highest level. You can get away with, an iMovie or something like that, but if you want to have the best product, then Angelus is the way to go. Now, where would you find, say, the shoes or the clothing? This is like a package of some customized shoes I'm gonna get working on here in the coming months. I got those off of Amazon pretty cheap. Just looked up Blake canvas shoe. Now, if you want to get a specific shoe, you can do that as well. If you're looking for, say, a Nike Low, you can simply go to the Nike site, or you can just type in, Nike Low on your phone, and you'll find a lot of wholesalers that are selling them much cheaper, though you want to make sure that it is authentic. And I'll be making a video coming up soon on how to identify authentic shoes and the most important things to look for. Now, back to the wholesalers. A really reliable source for the clothing, for like shoes, if you're doing it in bulk, is to go to Alibaba. Any of the Alibaba subsidiaries as well, including AliExpress, will do you right. And that's where I would go for if you're doing a bulk project, you know, more than 5 or 10 of the same sort of thing, go there. I buy a lot of mine still in single products, so I can have a single sample ready, and then from there, buy the bulk. That's kind of how I do my things. But needless to say with that, those are some of the options I would look there. And there's also another site here that I'm gonna leave in the description. I think it's called, this is a good cheaper option. I think it's called cheapskate.com or something of that nature, but regardless, it's in the description for you there. That's a great option to go to. And for inspiration, go to a site like DIY Network. They can have not only a lot of great ideas that you can work on, but also they will include a lot of links to the products to where you can go in, click on the link, and you can find it at a decent price and get the full description, so then you can look it up, find it, and see if it's right for you. But yeah, that's really all I wanted to cover in this video on where to find, you know, really great products. Again, keep your eyes open for what Walmart has to offer. If you're looking for the cheaper end of everything, you just want to try it out. And a lot of people are in that situation. You know, you don't want to just blow money on something that you're just playing around with. Completely understand. For my more serious people, when it comes to creating fashion, clothing, DIY projects, whether of clothing or just, you know, a little something like this, I'm gonna be going thrifting a little later today before work, so I can get some of that in and see what I can find as well. But aside from that, here's the hoverboard again for you all. That ends this video. Like, comment, and subscribe for next time, and we'll see you there. Bye.
These my dollars make it hurt.